We had been sitting in traffic for a while, all vehicles on both lanes, those going up and those going down. We didn't know what was causing the congestion. Our small town hardly ever had any traffic jams. I looked impatiently at my watch, worried I would be late getting back to the office. I had just stepped out for lunch and I was going into a meeting at exactly 2 p.m. Yet the vehicles remained stagnant, not moving at all. I rolled down the window on my side, slightly putting my head out, stretching my neck to see what was causing the holdup. Nobody seemed to know. I sat back down, frustrated, sandwiched on all sides between vehicles. We couldn't take an alternative route. I decided to relax and wait it out. Still looking out the window, I let my eyes enjoy the town's beautiful landscaping. Separating our lane from the other lane was this thin, beautiful rectangular median strip with lush, well trimmed lawn grass. Palm trees grew majestically on the lawn, gently swaying in the breeze. Various beautiful flowers were planted all around the edges of the median strip, most of them in bloom. I let the afternoon sun gently caress my face, breathing in the scent of the flowers. For a people stuck in traffic, it was strangely peaceful and quiet. That's when I saw him, seated behind the wheel, in a car on the lane across from me, separated by the median strip, going in the opposite direction. The vehicles on the other side, their side, were also stagnant, unmoving. I could tell he'd been staring at me for some time, striving to get me to notice him. And I did. I stared back at him, confused, wondering whether he was an acquaintance. I looked at him askance, my brow raised, trying so hard to remember where I had seen him. He looked so familiar. My heart somersaulted as I recognized him. It was my husband. I was appalled. I kept looking at him, aghast, bewildered, confused, my heart racing, my eyes blinking. I adjusted my glasses just to ascertain that I was seeing right and my eyes were not playing a trick on me. As sure as the sun rises from the east, I confirmed that it was indeed him. He seemed relieved that I had finally recognized him. He smiled ever so slightly, winking at me just as traffic started flowing on both sides. We went up as they went down. My heart stopped momentarily, skipping beats, suffocating. I gulped for air like a fish out of water. I couldn't breathe. I felt lightheaded as I clutched at my chest. The only good thing was that it was my driver behind the wheel. Otherwise, I would have caused an accident. My driver, noticing me through the rearview mirror, pulled the car to a stop at the side of the road. Madame, what is wrong? He asked benignly as he opened the back door. Are you okay? Take me to hospital. I mumbled, still struggling to breathe. Take me to hospital. He didn't wait for further instructions. He hastily got back behind the wheel and drove as fast as he could. He knew our family doctor and where to find her. When I could breathe a bit better, I called Mom, explaining to her that I was being rushed to hospital if she could please to follow us. Within no time, we were at the hospital. Dr. Isabel was waiting for me. Maria, what is wrong? She asked pensively, motioning to me to lie down for an examination. I can't breathe, I said grimly, thinking I was going to die. I kept thinking of my very young kids. You do not have any heart conditions that I am aware of, but I'm giving instructions for an ECG and an echo to be done. Meanwhile, keep taking in deep breaths, okay? She said solemnly, showing me how to breathe in and out. The tests required were done, and after a while, the results came out. They showed my heart was just okay. By then, I had calmed down. You were just having a panic attack, Dr. Isabel said teasingly. What scared you? Are you under too much pressure at work? I couldn't tell her. I had just seen my dead husband, whom we had buried about 6 months back, driving around town. Now that I was safely within the confines of the hospital, I also thought it ridiculous. You see, my husband had been dead and buried for some time now, and no, he didn't die from an accident where his face was disfigured, and therefore we could have buried someone else in his stead. He died in his sleep, and no, he didn't have a twin. It was him we buried, and not a stranger. I felt stupid. I didn't even tell my driver, who had rushed me to the hospital. He just knew I was unwell. Maria, what is it? My mom asked breathlessly as she walked in. We will talk at home, I said nervously as I motioned for her to help me stand up. We went straight back home. I couldn't go back to work. Maria, what is it? You have been quite all the way from the hospital, my mom asked apprehensively, worried. Mom, I saw Andrea in town, driving. I blurted out faintly, understanding just how delusional I sounded. My mom nearly burst out laughing, had it not been for the anguished look on my face. Maria, you know that can't be true, she said sympathetically. You were there. You saw for yourself. It was Andrea's body that you buried. I know it will take you a long time to get over him, but you have to accept that he is no longer part of your lives now. You have to be strong for the children. You just saw somebody else, maybe a look-alike. I had asked myself all those questions. Maybe I was confusing someone else with my dead husband. Maybe he had a twin or a sibling not known to the family. Or maybe my eyes had played a trick on me. Maybe I had been hallucinating. But why had the man I saw been so desperate to catch my eye? Why had he smiled at me? Why did he wink at me? Relieved when he realized that I had finally recognized him. It took me a while to convince myself that it wasn't Andrea I had seen that day, but someone else, until recently. It has been 9 years since I buried my husband. Life has moved on. I have healed. My children no longer ask about him that often. I have made peace with it. Then, just out of the blues, his best friend Jason recently called. Maria, do you have any photos of Andrea? He asked worriedly. Why? I asked incredulously. The iPad that had most of his photos crashed, but I think I can now locate one of those physical ones from an old family photo album somewhere. My friend Mike, who knew both Andrea and I, resides in the United States. He has just called me a short while ago, Jason said hesitantly. He says that Andrea lives in the States. I have tried convincing him that we married Andrea 9 years ago, but he is so sure it is him. He wants a photo so that he can ascertain that we are talking about the same person. I remember the panic attack that I had had years back when I saw Andrea driving in town, and I didn't want to go through the same experience again, ever. Shaken, I told Jason to just let it go and not to bother me. So imagine 3 days after shutting up Jason, I got a call on my phone with codes from outside the country, and guess the name Truecaller showed Andrea. I nearly fainted. I let it ring for so long without picking. The Andrea called again, and again for the third time. Trembling, I picked up. Hello? I said cautiously with a tremor in my voice, holding my breath. Hi. It was a voice I didn't recognize. I was nearly giving up. I wasn't sure you would pick. I'm not sure I know you, I said guardedly, still shaken. Who am I speaking to? Please. Oh, I'm sorry. It's me, Andrea. I recently relocated to the States. I had forgotten you don't have my new number. I sighed with relief, breathing in deeply. So, guys, the one calling wasn't Andrea, my late husband. This one was an acquaintance. We went to university together. I have never followed up on the whereabouts of Andrea, my late husband. who was last spotted roaming the states, but his body is lying 6 feet under back here at home. Have you yourselves had any mystical encounters of your own? Please share with us through the comments. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share to help our channel grow. Bye.